We're on the campus of Old Dominion University for CAA basketball on Comcast Sportsnet. William and Mary set to take on Old Dominion. And inside the Constant Center, things are heating up for this rival contest. And a pleasant good afternoon alongside Brian Oliver. I'm Brett Harris. And Brian, houses are divided around these parts when these two rivals hook up on the hardwood. And you know, in a rival game, the energy is going to be high.
Well, Brent, anytime you get two teams like this together, obviously conference victories are important. But when you're playing a rivalry game, motion goes up. These are two teams that has a lot of history. This is going to be an exciting ball game today.
William and Mary comes into this game. They have been filling it up. They lead the conference in field goal percentage.
Well, yeah, they lead the conference in field goal percentage, but you see points per game, third in the conference. But what's really important for me is the fact third in the conference at 3-point field goal percentage. They're going to definitely knock down a lot of shots. A key to them getting a victory today.
Tribe are led by their sophomore Marcus Thornton, who averages 18 points a game.
This is a guard that's very athletic. You talk about the three-point knockdown. He can get to the basket at will. He puts a lot of pressure on defenders. He's also leading the conference in three-point shots made. Definitely going to be a handful for the ODU guards.
For Old Dominion, they went through a coaching change 11 days ago, but under interim coach Jim Corrigan, this is a team that is playing loose. They're playing with confidence, and maybe their senior Deshaun Painter is benefiting the most.
Yeah, without a doubt, he's the one guy that's benefited from, because this is an athletic big that is having a lot of energy around the basket, scores at will, hits the glass. I like the fact that he's a guy that not only will dominate down low, can step outside and will knock down that perimeter jump shot. He has to come up big because he has been the focal point for this ODU team. I like the fact that he has been very aggressive as of late. 6 of the last games he's had double-doubles. He has to come up huge for them.
Well, only an hour drive separates these two campuses. Today, they're going to share the same 90 feet. Old Dominion and William and Mary. The tip-off is straight ahead right here on Comcast Sportsnet. 8th-ranked Richmond positioned nicely for the playoffs. A strong finish away from locking up a first-round bye. Today, Delaware comes to town, carrying a 2-game win streak, an upset on their minds. The Blueheads and the Spiders. It's senior day in Richmond. Richmond, Virginia at Robins Stadium, and a good one on the slate this afternoon. Number 8, Richmond Spiders will play host to the Delaware Blueheads. And welcome in, Brett Harris alongside Andy Gresham. This time of year, we start focusing on the FCS playoffs, but for Richmond, they still have 2 weeks left in the regular season. They're 8th ranked in the country, Andy. 24 teams get into the playoffs, 8 get byes. The Spiders want to be one of those 8 teams.
And they found out last year what it's like to play at home and the advantage that it is, Brent. So no question, they want to win, at least stay in it in terms of a CAA title, but playoff seeding is vitally important at the FCS level.
Well, the guy that has led the Spiders offense all season, Kyle Lalette, he's one of the best in the country. And last week, Andy, he had a career afternoon.
Preseason All-American, played great last week. You see the 6 total touchdowns, 436 yards. He spread the football to everyone on the field. It wasn't just getting it to Brian Brown, the All-American wide receiver, who, by the way, had 125 yards and a score last week. He leads the CAA in receptions, receiving yards, and receiving touchdowns. He is climbing up the league's receptions and yardage list. It's only a matter of time before he finishes in the top 5.
When you look at this Delaware offense, and they don't hide anything, there's one thing they do well, and that is run the football. And they have a 3-headed running back attack in that backfield that is just spectacular to watch.
Well, Brent, they're a throwback offensively. Everybody is around hucking the rock, and they've got 3 backs who have the ability to get it done. Second in the CAA in rushing yards per game. It's difficult to play that way, but when you have a gaggle of running backs that Delaware does that you can turn to, you can pound the rock. Wes Hills is going to be a game-time decision, but hey, if he can't go, Thomas Jefferson and Jalen Randolph are right there. And Brent, they're the only team in FCS in the CAA who have 3 1,000-yard rushers on the roster. It's pretty impressive. Oh, and by the way, forget about the running backs. The quarterback, Joe Walker, will rip it on you too.
It's an exciting matchup here. Two very different styles. The Spiders will sail it through the air. The Blue Hens will batter you on the ground. We're getting set here in Richmond, Virginia. It is senior day on campus. Kickoff is straight ahead between the Spiders and the Blue Hens. The Villanova Wildcats swagger has returned. Legendary coach Andy Talley has the #1 rushing offense in the CAA, led by tailback Kevin Monangai and surprise freshman quarterback John Robertson. They play host to last year's CAA champion Towson Tigers, who bring with them the #1 defense in the conference, as well as sophomore sensation tailback Terrence West. It's CAA football at its best. The Towson Tigers and Villanova Wildcats next on Comcast Sportsnet.